So I'm about to be the captain of an airship in a fantasy reality show.
To make a game that was kind of an action take on a lot of the crew and resource management aspects of games like FTL, but also had this relationship element. It's very hard for us to capture the real feeling of the game in these screenshots or videos because it's very fast-paced, but at the same time there's a ridiculous amount of strategy going on there. You're flying your ship and you're managing your crew, and you're also managing your essence as it goes between the various systems you have, and also responding to the types of enemies you see, because each enemy you see has different strengths and weaknesses, and there's different strategies for approaching them.
I like to play a little more defensively. I like to use my shields a lot. I like to use my engines to avoid incoming attacks.
You'll approach a group of enemies and it's not just charge through firing everything you have. You have to look at it and you have to say, okay, well, where do I want my crew that puts me in the best position to come across the top of this fight?
You'll find yourself pulling out a firearm to repel boarders while you're commanding your crew to go run into the sensor room to jam an incoming missile. Your ship's on fire, you're shooting at a skiff that's coming in from the side and dodging bullets that are coming in from the other way all at the same time.
We have a relationship system in Battle Blood, and I think it's an amazing thing that a lot of people don't realize is in the game.
All the captains have their own personalities, motivations, they all have their own schemes, their own ideas of how they're going to win the game.
So my favorite character in Battle Blood is Franca. I feel like she's the one that can cause a lot of chaos in the game.
I'm gonna go with Killer Carnet. I like he's just very different. He's very over the top, kind of violent, but if you're buddies with him, he'll kind of have your back.
They don't call him Killer Carnot because he's easy to work with.
A reality show rapper was a really good way to add real consequences to your actions.
In a reality show, you often have this voting element where the other challengers are voting to decide who gets voted off. And we thought that was a perfect way to make your relationships really matter.
I would pick a match where I was being paired with someone that was in front of me, and I will destroy them before they get a chance to finish the event, which makes it so they get hardly any points, and then that usually pushes them down to the vote off, and I vote them off. It's a fun way to kind of turn the screws.
I knew I was going to lose the vote, so my only option was my friend was one spot above me in the standings, and I needed to switch spots with them. I got into the next event, and I agreed to split some points at the beginning of it, and then after the event completed, I took all the points and stabbed them in the back.
I'll start a timer, track when we can go after those shielded shards without going back on the deal. Unless you want to. Then we can just pretend it's like an oven timer or something.
So if you treat somebody bad, that potentially could affect you later in the game.
I go into a race with Silas, and Jerron calls me up and is like, hey, sorry I had to help my buddy Silas out. I disabled the engines on your ship. He's gonna get a bit of a head start. One of the hardest parts of working on Battle Blood is just how random and procedural it is.
After putting hundreds and hundreds of hours into testing, somehow the game still remains really fun.
I remember at one point I saw a shield sentry shielding the convoy, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Early on, when we were trying to figure out how to test all of this stuff that we're putting here, especially with content that's very randomized, we needed a way to be able to get into the game and get through the game frequently. And we thought, well, maybe we could just make a bot that can play our game.
Just every night it sent us reports, and it'd be like, here's all the bugs, and here's all the information I found about where the bug happened and what I was doing. And the game would just read it and bring us right back to the same exact situation so that we could figure out what happened there and then fix the problem.
Battle Blood was something that really evolved out of a passion project. A bunch of us were kind of working on this in our weekends.
I really like working in a small company. I get to work with my closest friends.
Everyone did a lot more than one job.
Mostly make rocks.
So I'm making a turkey sandwich here. This is a special 2-turkey Safeway special sandwich.
We go through a lot of batteries because we use these remote controlled controllers, so I'm the person that puts the batteries in the special trash area.
We were so proud that we were able to really sink our teeth into this and really create a really unique, creative type of game that I haven't seen out there in the marketplace. So I think Battle Blood can offer you something that's going to be new and exciting to you as a player.